Perfect.
Episode 15 on Lonely Globe with the one and only Ruby Elizia.
Hello.
How's it going? Sound effects and everything.
Cute. Oh,
You alright, yeah?
yeah. I've been carrying heavy bags all day, so my neck's a bit like,
Stressing.
yeah,
Very stressful.
yeah. I've had a stressful day.
Is it the first time doing a podcast?
Um, podcast, yeah. Interview, no.
What interviews have you done?
I've done like mostly like written ones for like little magazines and stuff, but mostly about fashion, not as much about music, to be fair.
Oh, okay, we'll get into that then. Definitely. We'll definitely get into that. If there's any magazines I might know, well, I don't know actually. We'll see.
Um, well, I've done features on like smaller magazines, more like there's one called like Glitch Mag. There's like Intra. Uh,
I've heard of Intra.
really?
I've heard of Intra. I've seen it like they have like they've got quite a following on Instagram, haven't they?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think I've seen it.
Yeah.
I
Um,
can't remember where though, but I have seen that.
yeah. Mostly like the Instagram ones, not like the big magazines. I'm not quite there yet.
You get there, you'll get there.
Yeah, I'll get there for sure.
What brought you to Lonely Globe then? I want to hear it because you DM'd me, didn't you, about wanting to get on the podcast, and I was like,
Yeah, mostly well, because I saw that you did one with Pez Head and I watched part of it. I'm really not sure what to expect on this, but obviously, mainly just to represent some of the female musicians out here because I just want to put myself forward as a female artist, especially in like the underground.
yeah, I love
Like,
that.
yeah, there's not so many. Well, I think there is female artists in the underground. There's just not a lot of representation, to be honest.
You are the second. You are the second female artist to be on the podcast, actually.
That's good. That's really good that you've had
Because yeah,
some.
no tricks was the first one, so you're the second.
Yeah, sick.
Because I
That's
remember when you DM me, you was like, do you do interviews with female artists? And I was like, yeah, fucking course I do. And then when I saw that you wanted to get on it, I was like, because I have a lot of people DM me a day that wanting to get on the podcast. And I think what stuck me out with you, which we'll get into anyway, was obviously you do your fashion and do music. So I was like, well, this is a no-brainer.
Mhm.
And like you've just said, you want to kind of enhance and build that vision of like female artists getting out there, and especially within the underground scene and everything. So I fuck with that a lot. I do.
Yeah.
So I
Well,
love
I
that.
appreciate that, honestly. I'm so glad that you responded because I wasn't sure if I'd get a response.
Nah, it's all good. Like it's good that you do your fashion as well as like your music as well. I was listening to some of your music actually.
Oh God, yes.
No, it's good. It's really good.
Thanks. Some of the older stuff is whack, but like the newer stuff I do like. And my listeners have suddenly like gone up. Like it's not a lot, but I'm almost at like 500, which is crazy because
Yeah,
I
that's
only
good.
started. Yeah, because I only started releasing properly about a year ago as a solo artist. I used to just do like features. So it's been good and I've done quite a few shows. Um I'm getting used to performing. I'm like a nervous person, but I do enjoy it.
So
So
you've already done shows anyway.
yeah, I've
That's
done
good. That
like
is.
10 because I was doing shows before I was even releasing, to be honest.
Oh, nice. Where have you done shows? Is it normally around London where you're based?
Yeah, London. So the first one I did was actually with my uni. It was so cute. I was like 21. I'm 23 now.
Yeah.
It was a rap night, and I used to do like female soft rap, so I did that. It was actually really fun. And then the second one I did was this charity event. It was like on this boat in like Vauxhall or something. They have like stationary boats where quite a lot of like young performers go to perform. Um, I've done the Mustache Bar a few times, and just like yeah, like local bars. I did Brixton Jam as well for this event in October. And then since then, I've kind of just been doing uni work because I'm doing fashion design. So
Oh yeah, definitely. It's don't you think like when you do those type of shows, obviously because you have a lot of small artists that kind of gather together. It reminds me. There's a thing near me in Birmingham. It's like the start of every month's called the Night Owl, the places,
Mhm.
and it's called Neighborhood Brum, like Neighborhood
Yeah.
Birmingham, and they have like an open mic night, like the start of every month on a Monday,
Mhm.
and people just like it's a live band. People just get up on the mic, and it could be from melodic singers to like rappers to
Mhm.
uh, what do they call them? They're like more the more poetry type style of thing,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
and
Like,
it
written, I know what you mean, I forgot what it's called
I
as well.
can't remember the name for it, but
Yeah.
it's that type of style, and it is that type of scene
Mhm.
is just. I think it's so overwhelming and wholesome for everything because
Yeah.
you kind of meet new people and you make like lots of new friends. I've made so many new friends in places like that.
Yeah, for sure. I've met a lot of new friends. One thing I will say is that with the underground scene, I've kind of stepped away from some of the shows a little bit because of like the drug culture, and I'm personally sober. I don't
Yeah.
used to do any drugs. Um, but like it's weird because there's like a 50% of like really wholesome vibes, friendliness, all of that, and then there's a 50% of like
The dark side of things.
there's a really dark side,
Yeah.
especially if you're a female. It's kinda, like, hard out here, and I've had a lot of pushback as well from, like, if I've raised my voice about an issue, often won't be listened to, so recently, I've just been focusing on, like, just using, like, my digital platform, like TikTok, Instagram Reels, music videos, um, and I'm thinking about creating, like, a female-led show,
Oh,
poss
nice.
yeah, so, like, it will not necessarily just be women performing, but, like, led by women or LGBTQ+.
Yeah.
Um, I think it would be really cool to do something like that for the underground scene because it does feel
I've not seen that yet.
yeah, like, I have not seen it yet either. I've seen a lot of people do it for, like, the pop scene or, like, um, especially, like, raves, like, there's a lot of, like, safe space raves.
Yeah. I think raves is it's such an open um what's the word? It's such there's such an open variety of things within raves anyway, so it's
Yeah,
such a big culture and a big thing. But
yeah.
like you've just said with the hosting like a more of a women's kind of I can't think of the word kind of structure
Mm.
to music and stuff. I think that'd be quite. I think that'd be cool. That would
Yeah,
work. That would actually work. To be fair, I'd
I think it would, like
and if you actually do anything like that, let me know and I'll post that stuff out. No problem.
oh, thank you so much.
Yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
I
Because that
think
is cool.
yeah, I think it'd be good to, like, push, some of the female voices out there more, because there's also an issue that I found amongst me and other friends, female performers, where often what happens at these underground shows is because we have a softer sound, some of us, not everyone, but
Yeah,
because some of us have a softer sound, our sets will get pushed forward. It doesn't matter how many tickets we've sold, and it's kind of unfair because we'll be performing at the times where there's, like, no one there, and we might have sold more tickets than, like, say, like, a really hard vocalist that's on later, or, like, a really, like, intense rap rage performer that's on later, but we still get pushed forward so that we'd be performing when there's, like, 5 people there at, like, 7 p.m., and
mm,
it's just because the people that run these events this is multiple events, like, they see it as, like, "Oh, that's just the warm-up act because 'cause they're just a woman," and it's like, actually, what it means is that it's happened to me, like, multiple times. I've got people turning up later for my later set time, and then they miss my show because 'cause I've been pushed earlier, so it's problems like that that I wanna solve, um, because I've put on, like, fashion shows before, fashion exhibitions, so I feel like putting on a music show would be, like, the next step, and it wouldn't just be females, like, I'd want, obviously, male any non-binary, whoever, like, to
but
perform.
you get the say basically.
Yeah, like, not
Yeah,
just me, I'm looking to create, like, a group of individuals that wants to do it collectively, because 'cause it'd be a lot of pressure for me to do it on my own, I can't lie,
yeah. No,
but,
I can imagine it would. To be fair,
yeah, like, that is something that I do understand that show organisers face a lot of pressure and scrutiny.
I don't know how it works. I really don't. I haven't
It's
got a clue.
yeah, I think the problem is a lot of people, run before they can walk as organisers, and then it kinda all goes tits up, and, that's one thing I definitely don't wanna do either. I wanna make sure that I do it at the right time. It could even be in a couple of years, but yeah.
No, I kind of get you on that one. Is this do you know when you go to a lot of these shows then? So the type of music would you? Because I can imagine you're into like your rage and stuff like you just said.
Mhm.
Is
Yeah.
there any specific genres like you would have?
Um, so I would say that so for me, the type of music that I create is kind of I don't know how to explain it. Like
I was going to ask you what type of genre you do because
yeah,
I was trying to figure it out, but
it's weird. So I've done a mixture, but what I'm kind of doing right now is like this ethereal emo kind of singy pop. Like
I get the melodic emo style to it. I
yeah.
get that. I can gather that,
Mm.
and I can kind of gather the pop side to things with some of the
Some of the
songs,
stuff. Yeah,
but
I
I can't
think
pinpoint a genre.
yeah, I wouldn't say it's in a specific genre as of yet. It's kind of just like I grew up listening to like Peep and like the underground emo rappers, but then I also grew up on Paramore, which is rocky, but it has like a pop rock sound. So
Yeah, yeah,
so that's my thing. But I think for like these shows I want to create, I definitely want to include rage artists, um, softer vocalists, rappers. Like it doesn't matter really, just as long as it's within the underground kind of genre. Um, but I have recently been getting more into metal as well, which is interesting.
yeah.
So
You got to get into metal.
yeah, it's my first rodeo with metal. So like all of that kind of like underground, I really just crave like new sounds, like really, really fresh sounds. I'm kind of getting a bit bored of like the whole rage just screaming, which is just rinsed and like a heavy beat. I feel like we need to mix it up a bit, but yeah.
I
That's
like the
just
kind of soft, low tone star rage. To be fair, I've started
yeah.
to get more into that.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but I think that's the best thing about the podcast is like I can interview and communicate with so many different genres. So it's
Mhm.
always listening to new things, and it's all underground. Most of the time, it's underground as well. So it kind of works well for me.
Yeah.
Um, but at the same time, you try and find the different. That I'm more like my rage. I like trap metal. I probably listen to more underground artists than mainstream because it's just
Mm.
I just feel there's more energy and talent
Yeah, I
compared to
think
mainstream.
I agree.
Personally,
Yeah. Sorry, I don't know if I'm interrupted. I tend to just like
no, go for it.
oh, okay. Um, yeah, I think the thing is with like underground and like new artists, they're more hungry for it. Like I feel like these mainstream people that have gone from underground like to, mainstream, they've got signed to a label or whatever, like obviously their sound kind of gets rinsed out. They become just like um a money-making machine, really. So I feel like the earliest stages of someone's music career is kind of the best, in my opinion.
Yeah,
So that's why I do really enjoy like, yeah, making friends in these kind of scenes and situations and seeing. It's interesting to see who does well as well, and like I'm so happy for like Pez Head who's doing really well right now and like obviously growing at quite a good rate.
Pez is doing really well. I saw Pez in Birmingham because I went to the Bad Lad show and seen like Cinzy and DeAndre and stuff. Are
Mhm.
you familiar with those guys, DeAndre and Cinzy and stuff?
Um,
They like friends with like Pez and that.
I don't know them. I think I know the
You've
circle. I know
probably heard of some. You probably heard of them.
yeah, I know about Bad Lad, obviously, and I know that Pez was touring with Bad Lad, and I
Mm.
was like that was so weird for me because I have a song with Pez that we made randomly, and it actually got put on his album. So I
Yeah,
was
yeah, it's
like,
great.
"Thank you."
It's actually it's it. I said to I did say to him after I did the podcast with him because I was obviously listening to the Blue Turtle Dove album, and like when your lyrics come in, it was such a switch up within the album
Yeah.
because he tries to add a lot of melodic stuff in his own, but he's got his own sort of style.
Mhm.
So when it was like hearing that soft female voice, it was like, yeah, this is like a different. It added to the album very well. Like
Oh,
I congratulate that. Honestly, it's fair
thank
play to you.
you. It was so random, like, because 'cause we've been mates for a while, and, we literally just he just like picked up a guitar one day, and we were like, because I knew I wanted to make a song with him, didn't know where it would go, and he just started like strumming on the guitar, do 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 do, and I was like, pretty. And then I just like started singing, and he was like, "Oh, keep that in." And then yeah, we just recorded it all in one day. And then a few months later, he was like, "Yeah, here's a mix," and it was out. I was like, "What the fuck?" But he's so talented though, so
He
such a
did say he finds it so difficult to find artists to work with because he's so like for himself,
mm,
and that's just the person he is. And I think this is the way his head works.
yeah,
But like when I saw that someone else was on the album, because obviously he did one, he's done a few with Bad Lad and stuff, and obviously
yeah,
when you were on the album as well, it was like it was really good for him because he said himself like I find it so hard to find artists to connect with my sound
yeah,
because he's got a completely different sound of music compared to a lot of people. Like I can't pinpoint where he sits within
no,
a music genre or anything like that,
mm,
and that's what makes him stand out. So like to be on it, you you did really well because lyrically, like you said, it's hard. Like
mm,
it is hard to find artists for his type of style, and
yeah,
he said that himself.
yeah. I think it worked because I'd like the song was very personal to me. I wrote the lyrics for the most part, and then obviously he wrote his verse.
Mm,
Um, and it was about something really personal that I'd gone through, and like a big like transition period I went through in my life where I had to let go of a lot of people, and even people I've met in these scenes that I once trusted, um, and kind of also let go of my past and let go of like the old me and stuff.
yeah.
So like yeah, I just wrote it from like a very raw perspective, and I think because his music is so raw and emotional as well, it worked. Um, and I think because like we both people that like, I mean, he seems to be someone that like speaks from the heart in his lyrics, and I think that is something I do as well, which can be quite a vulnerable place like as a performer because a lot of these like rappers and stuff obviously they have like their rage or they have like cap rap. I've
Mm.
done a cap rap, I can't lie, I've done it.
Yeah, people go through stages like that, and you kind of find your sound. But I
Yeah.
think you specifically found your sound. You know where you
Yeah, I
stand with
think
your music.
yeah. I think I know now. Like, I've done a lot of experimenting with, like, rap and weird stuff. I think now is the best thing that works for me is just really raw, emotional, um, just unfiltered, really, like,
Mm.
things. Yeah, yeah,
No, I get that. To be fair, and like you said, it worked perfectly with the songs because with the song itself because if you went through that stage in your life and you can specifically bring that out within a song, there's no better person to do it with, especially with someone like Pez who releases his songs personally for himself, and that's what he
yeah,
does. There's no bullshit. There's no cap on it. It is
mhm,
him being him, and you kind of enhance that by telling your side of things. So
yeah.
it worked really fucking well. Like honestly, it worked amazingly. So fair play to you. It was really good. Honestly. Right, I'm gonna ask you about it. Bodaware.
Yeah,
Let's talk about the fashion side of things then.
yeah.
Like, tell me about it.
So firstly, no offense, but it's pronounced Bodaware,
Bodaware.
but it's okay.
Excuse me. Bodaware.
Everyone does that.
Okay.
So that means like basically the meaning when I started a few years ago, so it's a bit cheesy, but it means like body awareness. So I called it Bodaware.
That's smart. I get that now. No, I
Thank
get that now. Okay. That makes more sense.
yeah, but it's fine. A lot of people call it
I
Bodaware.
think it's from where I'm from though. Like
Yeah,
when I was gonna say like your name, like that's why I asked you, is it Alicia? And you was like, no, it's Elijah. So I was like,
yeah, Elijah.
prefer to get it right than get it wrong, like I just did.
To be
So
honest, it's kind of a stage name. I mean, my real name is Ruby. My middle name is Elizabeth, so I just cut it down to
yeah,
Elijah because Ruby Eliza was taken on Instagram, so I just added the I and it stuck. Um,
makes
so
sense.
yeah, but Bodaware, yeah, so it started because like during the lockdown, I had to have a this is so random. I had to have like a minor surgery, and they made me sign this paper, right? That said like I confirmed that, if I was to get the coronavirus and die from it, I'm not gonna like my family won't sue the
Yeah,
hospital.
yeah.
So I was having like major anxiety about it. And I started to get into like meditation. This is like no drugs, just complete Reiki, meditation vibes. And I had this like whole like epiphany one day. Literally, I had this deep Reiki meditation, fell
Yeah.
into a hole, and I woke up and I was like, I'm gonna do a brand and it's gonna be called Bodywear. And then I started like getting all this inspiration from like I would do hand like slow so it's slow fashion, it was all very sustainable, um, zero waste vibes, and I'd do this like slow hand stitch called called the surgical stitch that
Okay.
I've just made up, right? It's like been used before, but I just did my own play on it. Um, so I would just like kind of create my own because my sewing machine at the time wasn't working, so I just like mold seams together, do this little stitch, and it'd come up with this like kind of thick, weird surgical looking stitch. Um, and then at that time, when I first started it, it was like I think I had like 100 followers, and I was just taking like because obviously in the pandemic, clothes were not really readily available, only like online shopping.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what I did was I just took people's, um, like, broken like, torn clothes, and I was like, "Send them me in the post, I'll repair them for you for a small price and send them back." And I did it in a way where it was all, like, really, like, to the COVID-19 standards, so they'd send it me in the post, I'd wait 48 hours before touching them, I'd repair them with gloves on and a mask, wait 48 hours, and then send them back, so I did it started as, like, an idea and a repair service, and then over the years, it just became, like, a fashion label, I guess, yeah.
That's actually because I found like a lot of people through COVID anyway try to find new because I thought I didn't think to start doing the podcast by COVID anyway. Like I it wasn't even in my mind about doing a podcast.
Mhm,
But I know during like COVID times when I was like into my fitness, I was doing a lot more fitness stuff. Just trying
mhm.
to like I think it was more trying to keep my mind busy, try not to go insane because it was just such a it was just a bad time of year, wasn't it? Like COVID.
Yeah.
So I think you planned it and put it out right during the time COVID hit because no one, like you said, like doing you said about like people needing repairs and stuff. Like there was nowhere to go.
Yeah, there was nothing
Like
because
there wasn't anywhere to go because everything was
yeah,
shut and people were just like, "Oh, I don't want to do this because I don't want to catch something." All
mm,
that type of stuff that was going on.
yeah.
So it kind of, in a way, it was like the perfect
It was perfect time.
business idea.
Yeah, at the time, yeah, it was. I was making good money at the start, and then I kinda just stopped doing the repair service whilst I when I eventually went to uni. So, I started Bodywear in, like, March 2020 and then got to uni in, like, September,
Mm.
and by that time, I stopped doing the repair service. I just started focusing on marketing the brand. So, lots of photo shoots, lots of shows, and then naturally it was kind of through fashion that I found myself back in music. Like I'd made like one song when I was 18 and then stopped making music and then started to like when things did start to open up again in like 2021, I started to like go to music like underground music shows wearing Bodywear pieces and I'd meet like really cool musicians I'd network with. Some of them now still my best friends, like
Mm.
shout out Swim Silky, she's like a massive inspiration of mine. Um and like, yeah, it all just kind of after that, it just kind of all glued together. And then I started doing charity fashion shows, raising money for like local shows and stuff, and then ended up doing London Fashion Week events. So it's growing and it's nice because I know that what I do with my personal brand, I do it sustainably. So as sustainably as I can anyway. So like um
Is it
it's
just you that runs the brand then? Is there anyone else that participates in it or anything like that?
just me. I do everything. I
That's the same
do
with me. That is, to be fair with it with
yeah.
Lonely Glow.
Yeah, I think in a few years it'd be cool to have, like, a business partner or to, raise enough money to actually hire someone, but right now it is just me, and yeah, I'm hoping when I graduate that I'll carry it on, as well, but we'll see what happens, like, you know.
It's hard to find, I think, like personally, because I've tried looking for people to get to like I wouldn't say so much to work with me, but like to kind of I wouldn't even say collab with either. I think it's just to run the side of me
Mm.
with Lonely Globe, and it's difficult because you've got to have someone on the side on the same mindset as you, but also like they've got to see the same vision as you.
Yeah.
And if you haven't got that, then there's no point forcing it on someone. If you get what I mean, like
Yeah. Yeah,
so
literally.
it's very difficult.
I think, yeah, for me, it'll be a case of, like, growing the brand as much as I can using social media and stuff, and then it'll just be kind of I think I'd just have to delegate the work to someone. Like, for, like, 6 months, I was working for this brand called A-Rated. It was so
Mm,
random, like, um, she's really nice, the woman that runs that brand, and, I applied as a pattern cutter, and then she gave me the job as, like, deputy designer and office manager or something. And I'm, like, 22 at this point, right?
yeah,
So I was like, that was crazy for me, but I learned a lot from how she run her brand, how she started. She started in the pandemic as well. She grew, like, exponentially fast. Um, and yeah, it was a great experience. So I think hopefully, like, I'd like to do it kind of in the way that she did, where she waited until she was at a point that she had enough sales and enough kind of, like, structure to the company, and then just hired, like an office manager slash deputy designer she just delegated the work to.
yeah, I'll get you on that. Have you ever heard of? Because I find like music and fashion go hand in hand. Like they are like that. They are like fingers crossed, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of a brand called Asbo magazine? They are
Mm-mm.
Birmingham run. You'd like them. They uh I have a few people I've had on the podcast. Well, good friends of mine that I see all the time. I've got a show to get to on the 9th, which one of my friends is performing, and he works alongside Asbo magazine photo shoots for like different. They have different fashion designers throughout the magazine every time they release, and different musicians, and that's where it like connects hand in hand with those type of things. I can't remember who was there was like a guy who's like on the front cover of the magazine, some famous musician. I can't remember who it was,
Mhm.
um, but that what they do is they, if I'm correct, I'm pretty sure this is what I was told. They get musicians that are trying to make a name for themselves within Birmingham, and they
Mm,
have fashion designers that are connected with the university or who have their own brand, and basically just produce clothing at the maddest way ever, and just to get their name out there, but also the musician gets his name out there because they'll do like a biography on the musician as well as the fashion designer.
mm.
And my friend did like this photo shoot. It was like an all denim type of like oversized like style wear with hat. It was absolutely crazy. But
Sounds great.
I think you'd really like that. They're as I'm sure it's Asbo magazine. Yeah, Asbo magazine.
Mhm. I'll
But
have a look for sure, it sounds good.
you'd really like that because it just sounds like something. Everything you're like telling me about that is like something that I know something similar in Birmingham that they do.
Yeah.
So I think you kind of fuck with that vibe.
Yeah, it sounds really good. I'll have a look. Maybe they have an Instagram, I might have
Oh,
a
they
look.
definitely have an Instagram. They're quite. I don't know how. Let me check. I'm pretty sure they have. Uh,
Hasbro magazine. Oh,
yeah,
yeah, this oh,
I think it's as ASBO magazine. They've got like
yeah,
13K followers,
yeah.
something like that, and they do like, or they you can see straight away from their Instagram. They do like
Really?
fashion alongside like musicians and everything. They
I
do
love
like
that. I
biographies.
love that blend. We need to see this blend more, like, honestly.
I think that's why it was set up because it was like it. Like when my mate told me about it, and I was like, "This is crazy." And then we was at a bar in Birmingham the one night, and he was like, "I've got the photos." I was like, "Okay, let's see the photos." Because the magazine's going to be released like January, February. Like this was obviously last year, so like next year. So I've recently seen the magazine, and it is absolutely incredible. It's
Mhm.
so cool. And then when
Yeah.
I saw the photo shoots, and he was like, "I'm so happy the way the photos have turned out." I was like, "They turned out really well, bro.
Yeah.
Like they are really well." And it just perked his music up, and they kind of like people have read the magazine have been coming to his shows as well. So it's like it was a win-win for him.
Mm. No, that's wicked. Thanks for showing me that.
Yeah, definitely. Like I thought you'd like that from what you're telling me about and everything.
Mhm.
But there's no. I was gonna ask like, what type of style do you kind of enhance um, bodywear around?
So, it
Are you
started off like
or is it kind of grungy? Very like, is it kind of like, I don't know how to explain it really because I don't want to say it's all over the place, but
It's no,
is
it's a bit all over the place. Yeah,
that's I like that type of style. That
yeah.
is cool.
It's like avant-garde. So it started off like very, yeah, very grungy, very like blood and guts orientated. But then I realized that there was a few designers doing stuff like that. So I was like, So I just branched out into like, I don't even know. It just took so many different paths. It was like kind of also based on whatever fabric I could get as offcuts that was enough fabric to make a garment. So a lot of the color schemes are so random because I couldn't at the time I couldn't afford new fabric and I
Mm.
wanted to do sustainable, so I would just get whatever I could get my hands on and make something. Like one of the coats I've made was made from an entire tent that I paid like £10 for. I went to like King's Cross or something to pick it up and carried this big ass box of a tent home, cut up the tent. Like I had to build it. It was like it just popped out, right? And I had to cut it up. Literally, I was like, that's an entire tent. And I had to cut it up and like use all the layers to make a coat. And I used like the metal poles to like make the coat like structured at the bottom. So a lot of it is really playful, like it's really fun. Um, the direction I'm going in now is like, so for my final collection at uni, I'm doing I'm trying to do it as sustainably as possible. It's harder because the tutors kind of expect nice new fresh fabrics and they want it to be like pristine and all this. It's not as like edgy as what I would usually do,
Yeah.
but it's kind of going down this weird robotic route. And like basically it's just a lot of playful themes surrounding the body, surrounding like anything that's recyclable and texturable. Yeah, but
Do you
I like,
find like things like places like university that can kill your creativity a bit?
yeah, I mean, I hate to say that.
No, but no, it's true that they I think anything. I even remember just I just think just being back at school when you used to do like art and stuff and like,
Yeah,
oh, I want to do this. Maybe it's not going to get towards. Can't I just create? Because that's the whole point.
yeah.
That's
I think, sorry, go on.
no. I was just saying like that is the whole point of being quite creative. Like you just create. You don't have to like stick to
Yeah.
a structured thing.
Yeah, I think the problem is like I love my uni course because it is there to teach skill and it's there to teach like it's quite regimented, it's quite strict in a way.
Yeah.
It is quite creative, but like they do expect like pristine and sometimes I do struggle because I am more creative in kind of I see fashion as art. I don't really care about I care, but I'm not all here for like, um
Do you know what you're gonna? I think you're trying to say. That looks nice. No, it's art. Like it, I think it's
yeah,
the same way as looking at tattoos. Like some people will look at tattoos and go, "Oh, that's not my style." Yeah, but that's the style he likes or the style
yeah,
she likes.
exactly.
It's
Like
art.
like in fashion, you've got like how do I explain this? You've got like the Louis Vuittons and you've got the Matty Bovens. I'm way more on the Matty Boven side, which
Mm.
is way more fun, texture, big silhouettes, not this clean, pristine. But if people like that side of it, that's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
It's just I do struggle sometimes because I feel like my uni is more directed to that side of it. Um, and but it's just something I've got to work around. But I have
Like you
learned,
said, it's skill. That is that's the
yeah,
thing. It's
it's
learning
just
things that
skill.
you've got to
Yeah.
learn.
Which is good because it will the reason I chose that uni, because I go to Westminster Fashion, is because I wanted to learn those skills and apply that so that I could take bodywear to the next level. So it's not just like things made from home. It's like, oh, this can actually be runway.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I get that. To
Yeah.
be fair, is there? Do you have like? Do you hang around or do you merge with people that do the same sort of thing or?
At uni?
Well, just in general.
In general. Yeah, so, I have a lot of I've actually made a lot of friends in very similar way so, like, I used to intern for this guy a few years ago called Johannes. He has amazing, structural brand, like, it's gorgeous, his stuff. I started off as a friend and then started interning for him, and then I met my friend Swim Silky, who has her brand Epona, and her brand is all about kind of like it's like horsewear, but like horse riding gear, but like made into women's wear. Um,
Okay, I get that. Yeah,
it's
that
really
sounds pretty cool.
cool.
Actually, that does
Yeah,
actually sound pretty cool.
yeah, and then because she also rides horses, but she makes music that's, like, really ethereal and, like, Celtic vibes, and it all blends as one, and yeah, and there's a few people on my course that kinda do their own brands and stuff, but,
I find the rage scene is like that, like, very
yeah,
out
yeah.
there.
Yeah, there's this, band called Pest that I know because 'cause I'm good friends with the main singer right now, and, um, he kind of has his own merch line, which but it's actually, like, really cool, like, the designs are really cool, and, like, they do all this kind of art conceptual stuff as well as their music, so there's definitely people that I've met that are on a similar kind of wavelength, yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, I kind of like the fashion side of things. I think that's why I like Vivienne Westwood a lot. I think because it's,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, it's very like it's a very clean type of fashion, but I find they go all out with a lot of things as well.
Yeah, she's literally my biggest, like, inspiration, like, if there's anyone obviously, rest her soul, but if I
It's definitely my most favorite brand, like 100%
yeah,
Vivienne.
same. I'd love to work for Vivienne Westwood, as a label, especially with her history, like, because 'cause I've done 2 projects on her now in my uni, like, I've chosen to do 2 just on her, and knowing that she got integrated into the punk scene with, like, the Sex Pistols and what's his name, Malcolm McLaren and whatever else. Like
Mm.
her roots, the way she started is just so cool, and I think that it's cool that obviously not in any comparison or anything, but it's cool that me and her have had like similar beginnings. That music has helped to influence our fashion.
Music helps influence so much.
Yeah,
I think you can tell a person by what they wear. Like that is, there's no doubt about that.
yeah, for
And
sure.
also when it comes to music as well, you can tell what a person's like.
Mhm. I
So that's
agree.
why they go hand in hand.
Yeah, for
Because
sure.
no, like I can't. That's one thing why I wanted to get you when I accepted to get you on here, because it's like I do want to kind of interview and speak to a lot more people that are into the fashion side of things, because it's something that you can talk about. And again, it's all about creativity, and that's what Lonely Globe's about. It's about getting people out there that have this creative flow that just, the underground scene started from the bottom and they want to push themselves up, and
Mhm.
people need to be heard. and again, like you said about the shows and stuff like you want to do, it's just those that is what I wanted to push for,
Yeah,
so it
yeah.
works.
I think it's great. I'm really glad you have this podcast. I think
a,
it's great.
a lot of people, yeah, a lot of people, like, do you know what it is? I I specifically, when I remember starting it, because I've always done like artwork. I've always been like into creating album artwork and stuff like that. So I've always done stuff to do with graphic design. I'm so big into music,
Mhm.
and it just like I was like, oh, it kind of makes sense. I can design my own things. Like I can speak to artists that I've like produced artwork for. Started from like the littlest thing ever to people I interview now and people I speak to now.
Mhm.
And then it was the one day I just thought, well, I've always liked kind of getting to know people. I've always wanted to like. I've always been that type of person that you can talk to, and speaking to me for 5 minutes is like you've known me for, I don't know, months or whatever.
Yeah,
People say that to me.
literally.
People always say that to me.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, I'll start a podcast. And then it was like, oh, what do I call it though? And like I have said in previous podcasts and videos, like Lonely Globe was a thing created. The name came from people that pretty much didn't have anyone to back them, didn't
Mm,
have anything, any kind of background to like merge with, just to like make themselves grow.
yeah.
And it's a worldwide thing. And I just thought, oh, yeah, everyone's been lonely. I
Oh,
started off this lonely. No, it's right. Everyone has a lonely time in life, and then I just
true.
thought like Lonely Globe was the perfect thing to produce to make a community, because that is the one thing I really am pushing towards, is to make a community about it, because
Yeah.
it just makes sense to do so.
Yeah.
And yeah, I have a lot of people like talk to me and go like, I could be in Discord chats now, and I'm like, you're the guy who does Lonely Globe. I'm like, yeah, yeah. They're like, oh, it's cool what you do, man. And then I'm thinking, like, the more people that say it, I'm like, oh, it must be something good that I'm doing then. Because at first you start And I don't know if you was the same with your brand. You're starting to go like, oh, is this actually worth it? Like, are people going to
Mm,
actually like fuck with this? Are they going to like? Is it going to be a thing?
mhm.
And it is the more I've obviously gone about it, and people kind of like really do enjoy it. I thought, well, there's no going back now.
Yeah,
Might as well continue with it, see
yeah,
where it takes me and where it goes.
yeah, literally.
But
No, it's great. It's great what you're doing. I think keep going with it and you'll, like, pick up more and more artists and make, you know, good connections with people. I think it is nice because a lot of even smaller magazines and podcasts that they just wanna go for, like, the big names because 'cause it'll get them, like, more views, and it's nice that the underground scene can have a place like, the really underground scene can
it's
have a
right.
place to talk.
It's where it's all at.
Yeah.
I don't care what anyone says. Like, I think because I'll take it from the places I go to. Like you said, like you have the underground scene, and then you have the dark side of the underground scene, like the dark side of the underground scene.
Yeah.
And regardless, like if it's just the underground scene or not, people don't know about it. But
Mhm.
that's why it's called underground for a reason. Like people don't know about it, and I think people need to know about it
Yeah.
because there's a lot of stuff that goes on, but there's a lot of creative flow that goes on as well. Like a lot
Yeah.
of creativity,
It's literally like there's so much amazing
energy. It's the energy. I love the
yeah,
energy.
there's so much energy. There is so much energy.
It's
Mhm.
crazy. Like I really enjoy it, and I think that's like a lot of the friends I've now. All most of my friends are underground because I have like my main friends, and
Mhm.
they don't really listen to my podcast. They don't
Mhm.
have anything to. They don't listen to the music I listen to. They don't like associate with the things I do.
Right.
But they're my friends that I've grown up with, and that's just
Right.
them. Like,
Yeah.
but then I've got like a lot more friends now that I've met over the time of starting the podcast that I hang around with a lot more now.
Mhm.
I feel like I've got I wouldn't say a better connection because I've got
Mhm.
connections with my main friends that are more personal side of it. But then when it comes to like, uh, what's the word? I'd say the more side I like more the more side of me that I can actually put out there to these type of people because they're all the same.
Yeah.
But the underground scene is so cool. Like
I think
it's the
yeah.
best.
I think it's wicked. I think one thing I'll say, don't do drugs if you can help it, but apart from that
Yeah, pretty
apart
much.
from that, it's great,
And
like,
if you are gonna do drugs, I'm not like don't do them. But if you are, like
be
do it
careful.
safe. Yeah, be
Yeah.
careful. I
Yeah.
don't say it enough on this podcast, to be fair. But then again, I don't really talk about it, the drug side of things.
No, I think it's something I talk about a lot just because me and my best friend, Christina, we're both sober in the scene and but so Christina does a lot of videography and music videos, and I obviously go to these shows to network, to make connections, to hear the music. Uh,
Yeah,
but one thing that we do find is because 'cause we're both sober, we'll witness a lot of things. We witness people really go downhill, like long-term connections and friendships that we've both lost because not that anyone's died, but because people have like, gone
they put themselves into a pit that it's hard to
yeah,
get
they
out of.
go
Yeah,
into a pit and it's really sad and it's something that we both preach about a lot and we talk about on our stories because we don't wanna see, um, people go down such a hole where they ruin their career, like, and it is sad. So, yeah.
the hardest thing about it is I find is you can only advise. There's
Yeah.
nothing you can do to get them out that pit. Like it is a case of like we can meet you 50 heart like halfway, but
Mm.
you've got to do the rest. So it's down to you as a person, and I think that's the hardest part to it when you see some of your friends suffer.
Yeah, letting go.
Especially
Yeah.
drugs don't help with mental health,
No.
like end
They
of
definitely don't.
that don't.
Yeah.
So if you do have mental health problems and you're doing drugs, you're going down a
Yeah.
strong path. So yeah, get out of it.
Yeah, I'd say if that is the route that anyone's going down at the minute, anyone watching this, talk to people, get help. There's nothing wrong with therapy. I've had therapy for different not drugs, but for different things. Like, just talk to people about it, don't box yourself in because it's also the people that you choose to hang around a lot of the time is the influence. So, um, yeah, I
I
hope
always think, look, 10 years. Where do you want to see yourself?
Yeah, and that's the sad thing. There's a really good website called, I think it's called, like, Talk to Frank that people can use if they wanna, like
Oh yeah, they have the adverts and stuff, don't they?
yeah, um, I
They
think
have
that's
like a community. If they have a community, they do that. They a lot of
yeah.
people can talk, kind of like a blog.
Yeah, yeah, I think it's always worth a shout, especially just in these scenes 'cause it's so many shows, you know, that's the only problem with it, but yeah,
I think that's just a music play
just
type of
music
thing
in
as well.
general.
Like
Yeah,
people just kind of connect to music in different ways. Some people find it like mindfully. Some people find it the way of drugs. Some people find it
mm,
alcohol.
yeah,
Some people just just hear a beat and or a sound and that they're connected. And it
mm,
is down to the person,
mm,
but
yeah,
it's something you get out of. I'm 27 soon, and I'm not gonna personally stand here and say I'm not gonna say oh I've done stuff, because at the end of the
mm,
day I'm not gonna put that out there. But say I can say I've seen people that've done it, and
yeah,
looking at them from then being younger till now, it's a very slippery slope, and
yeah,
it doesn't do anything for you. You do get out of those type of things. I think you do the older you get, but you've
I
got to
hope
start being mature about it as well.
I hope
Know
that
when to stop.
yeah, exactly, knowing when to stop. I hope that the people that have lost themselves in it find themselves again, you know? I
It's the
hope
best thing to do is find yourself after. I mean, I've suffered with mental health. I've suffered mental health massively.
mm,
But I found um, I don't find talking to people helps me.
yeah,
Music definitely helps me,
mm,
but um, putting yourself forward to something you enjoy doing really does help, because it takes your mind off a lot of things. So,
yeah,
I think people that suffer with anxiety and stuff, because I used to suffer with depression more, and
mm,
my anxiety was, I didn't know. Do you know what? I was so uneducated about anxiety. It was unbelievable until it hit me, because
right.
I didn't realize how bad anxiety is compared to depression. I overall, I think anxiety is worse, personally.
Yeah, I agree, I've had both and anxiety is, crippling sometimes.
Yeah, it's the worst. And you do kind of get to that point where you go, right, I need to, you get scared and you go, I need to fix this.
Mhm.
This is actually hurting me mentally and physically. And
Yeah.
once you put your mind to something, you do start to see those things slowly disappear.
Mhm.
And then
Yeah,
it's not until you look back and you go, how the fuck have I done that? How
yeah.
did I actually do that? And it's all here.
Yeah, it is, it's crazy. I had anxiety. I used to have crippling anxiety, and then it kinda just became generalized, and then I had, like, PTSD and, like, all this stuff, and then it's just slowly, like, day by day, just things will I know it sounds really, like, cliche, but it will get better if you aim for that, if you, you know, really look in on yourself, you
Yeah,
can
hearing it from people, and then people go, "It'll be okay." You don't listen.
you don't listen, no.
You don't listen.
No.
But realistically, it it does. I do you know what I find this with breakups, when people go, they say doing someone's had a really hard breakup.
Mm,
Oh, I don't want to lose that person, or it's my whole world. Like you'll be okay.
you'll be fine,
Like
yeah.
trust me, you
Yeah.
you will be okay. It's just a person that's going out of your life. I always think, yeah, believe it or not, and it's a most random way. I don't know why I think of it this way. It's don't know if you've ever lost a family member, and
Mm,
a family member is so much stronger than a relationship, in my opinion. Like a
yeah,
relationship with someone that you meet for a few years, say, when when you lose a family member that you're so close to, and you lose them, and then it never goes away, but it gets easier. So
yeah,
say, I don't know, say you're losing your nan or whatever, your
yeah,
grandma, whatever they call it. At the first time, but when that first happens, it is horrible, because you're just like, oh, I can't believe
yeah.
this has happened. But then you
I've gone
kind of
through that, so I know.
as those days go on, you are fucking bawling your eyes out.
Mhm.
But then as the days go on, you think to yourself, when I talk about now, so I lost my great nan, I was just like, now I'm just thinking you know what, she's gone. There's nothing that can be done about it. I'm going to be the same. It will come to the point I've got to go at some point. Everyone's got an expiry date, in my opinion. But
Yeah, yeah.
if you can get through that, trust me, you can get through a breakup. I'm telling you
Yeah,
now.
that is very true.
That's the way I see things.
Yeah. Oh, that's a Lil Peep song.
Is it?
The Way I See
Oh
Things.
yeah, it is. Oh my god. Oh my god. And I listen to
But
people
yeah,
and I even forgot about that.
but yeah, no,
How does that go? How does that one go?
it's like, "It's just the way I feel. It's just the way I see things." That one.
Oh shit! Yeah, I get it. No, I got it. I got it. I remember. That's gonna make me want to listen to some Pete for after this. To
Yeah,
be fair,
iconic. That was great.
what is your plan for your music then going forward? Like, if I don't want to set a date because I've done this to people before. I've gone like, oh, where do you want to see yourself by next year? Because I think
Mhm.
it's no one can answer that. But if you had a plan for your music,
Um, I just wanna grow. I wanna make more music. I'm doing a lot of collaborations. I'm working on my album right now. I was supposed to drop it for February 14th, like Valentine's, and uni's been so busy that I just haven't. But, like, I just wanna manifest because you don't know what's gonna
yeah,
happen.
that
I want
that is the strongest thing anyone could say. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
just go with it.
go with it, and I wanna be on tour one day, like, I love fashion, don't get me wrong, but I never realized how much music would mean to me until I started doing it. I kind of see it as, like, I love fashion with my life, but fashion is kind of the day job, and then music is, like, where I feel things, and, like, where I can actually really express. I mean, I express with fashion on a personal level, but music's, like, even deeper. So, like, if I could, like, one day go on tour or just perform in bigger venues, release more albums, get to, like, you know, say by the time I always say, like, by the time I'm 25, I wanna be really popping off because then I don't wanna be, like, getting to 30 and be like, "Oh, I've not done it." But I know it's hard, so we'll just see what happens.
Yeah, I was gonna say like age. I wouldn't even stress about it.
No. It's just as a female, I guess not just females, but as a woman especially, there's a lot of pressure on age and, youthful beauty and all this.
Do you know what that is though? Do you know what that is? That's school. That is.
Mm,
And
yeah,
they like education. They set this thing where they go right. You've got to do this. You've got to do that because if not, like this can happen or this won't go your way. You've got all your life. Some people don't
yeah,
even start. A lot of people don't know what they want to do by the age of 40.
mm,
And there's people that have made it happen by the age they've got to the age of 40 and they've gone, oh, I'm going to do this now. And them like, I don't know, like millionaires by like
yeah,
years on, or them very successful in what they do,
yeah,
very well educated and with like, it's their expertise within that, with that thing they do.
yeah,
So I think age is just like, it's just a number. It's the same as time.
yeah,
Like if you set a time to do something and you aim for that time, but you don't do it, it's not the end of the world. Like,
mm,
okay, like, oh, I'm going to do this by, oh, okay, I want to release up to 100 podcasts this by the end of this year.
mhm.
Okay. If I don't do it, all right, then that's fair enough. But I've got to this number. I wouldn't have got to that number if I wanted to aim for the 100.
Yeah, yeah,
So, and it's all down to what you put into things.
that is true, that is true. I feel like a lot of us do put too much pressure on ourselves as well, like, I'm so grateful that I've even got anywhere close to, like, 500 listeners, but, like, I remember, like, a year ago, I was like, "Oh, this time next year, I have to have, like, 10K listeners." I was like,
Yeah,
"No, it doesn't even matter because it's better to grow authentically than to and push yourself, like, talking about, running before you can walk again. It's really toxic because you burn yourself out and you get depressed and yeah.
500 people listen to your music. That's the way you got to see it.
Well, 485.
Well, 485 listen to your music.
Woohoo! Whoever you are, thank you.
I've tried doing music, and what do I have? I released recently. I looked three, so three people have listened to my songs. I
But
think I'm one of them.
that's
There's two.
still great. Okay, well, I'll listen to your song. That's 4.
Okay,
That's 4 in
I've
total.
still got things on work. I've got some stuff that are coming out, but to know I haven't got my vocals are trash. I'm the guy that hits auto tune, and I just go
That's
in with it.
fine. I have auto-tune on some of my songs, like
I have auto tune on all my songs because I haven't got no tone to things.
that's
I
fine.
think it's the black country in me to be fair.
No, I think it's okay because you auto-tune is a stylistic art choice, I believe, so I don't people that shit on auto-tune, I'm like, I think it's a form of art, you know?
Yeah.
not everyone. I mean, I have songs out that don't have any tuning; they just have reverb. But I also have songs out like "Foolish," which is like completely robotic. So
Yeah.
it's there's nothing wrong with it, you know.
I'm gonna have to stop you there because my cat is recently trying to rake at my door, trying to get
That's
out.
that's right.
Yeah, my cat goes through this period where, you know, I've had enough. I want to get out now. I'm gonna keep raking at the door,
No, that's cute.
and I'm just like up every 5 minutes doing it.
I
But
love.
do you know? Yeah, auto tune. Like even Ogwen was talking about the rage scene of stuff. Like auto tunes, massive within rage.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, like Yeet and all that.
Have you heard Yeat's new album?
No, to be honest, I'm not really that into Yeet, but
It's good. It's quite good. I think you'd like it. It's good.
probably yeah. You know, I'll have a listen. To be
Yeah,
fair.
it's very good. To be fair,
Mm.
I'm trying to find like a range of rage artists now to listen to. So if you've got any up your sleeve, please throw them in my DMs.
I'll send you my whole playlist. Well, not that it's
Please.
weird, but yeah.
Yeah, I need to like basically listen to a lot more rage because underground because I don't know many underground rage artists, so I'm trying to find them.
The most that I know are people that I've actually met. Some of them I don't really fuck with anymore, but like they will make good music. So I'm not gonna sit here and name, but but
Yeah, yeah.
but yeah, but I can send you my playlist anyway. I've got like my playlists are weird. It's very very mixed up of
It's
things.
not weird. It's unique. That's the word.
Yeah, unique.
Nothing's weird.
Yeah,
It's unique.
yeah.
So when people say, "Oh, they're not normal," normal doesn't exist in my eyes.
True.
Normal's not a thing.
True. What is normal? Oh my god, sorry, I'm not yawning at you. I'm just really
No,
sleepy.
no. To be
Sorry.
fair, I've had such a long day myself. Like, well, I've had a long week, but
Yeah,
I that just comes with the personal things in life. But
yeah.
no, I think it's been amazing having someone like yourself on the podcast. So
Thank you.
honestly, I fully appreciate you being on the podcast. It's been incredible. Ruby Elizia, everyone. Is there anything you want to say to any of your friends that are going to be listening to us, any people that know you?
Shout out Christina, my best mate. Shout out Pez Heads, good friend of mine.
Definitely shout out Pez.
Definitely shout out Pez. Shout out, I don't know, like everyone in the underground scene that I've met that's been really. Do you know what? There's so many more people off the top of my head. I've like, shout out Majestic Lydia. You know what? Listen to her music because her music is crazy.
I know I was going to tell you just before we finish up with this. A girl called Banshee. Have you heard of Banshee?
No.
Listen to Banshee on Spotify.
Okay, I know an Enshi, but I don't know a Banshee.
Banshee's very like she speaks highly about like women within music.
Okay.
Degrading how men treat women. Incredible.
Yeah. Amazing.
She sees herself as a mermaid. It's great. It's quite cool actually.
I love that. I'm gonna have to check her out.
Yeah, you'd like that. I'll send you that through anyway.
Cool.
But yeah, honestly, thank you for being on the podcast. It means so much.
Thank you so much. What do you go by, Mashy?
Yeah, well, it's Matthew, but Mashy's my nickname, yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Mashy. That's amazing.
It's okay. It's okay. Right, this has been Lonely Globe, episode 15, Ruby. I'll see you guys in the next one.